So today we're going through Project 615. So Project 615, it's a nonprofit based in Nashville, Tennessee. Um, they make a lot of just t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, basically apparel with the Nashville brand. Um, it is, like I said, it's a nonprofit, so it helps employ individuals that are freshly out of prison, kind of help them get back on their feet. It's a pretty cool mission. But today we're just going to walk through their SEO strategy. After recording this video, I'm not affiliated by any means with Project 615. Just a happy supporter of their mission and of their gear. So let's get started. So I went ahead and pulled all of their URLs down from Screaming Frog. So you can look to the right, you'll actually see really cool feature that Screaming Frog recently added is the indexability and then indexability status. So it'll show like they canonicalized. So as you see, you'll see several non-indexable canonicalized URLs. So these are spun up by the category pages. So that's something to kind of think about right now as we kind of move through this video. We'll also take a look at the title pages or the title tags. Not very descriptive. As you see, the length, a lot of it in the 20s and 30s, so a lot of space they're not using. And then the meta descriptions, basically just not much included there either. So you'll see some feature information on specific apparel pages, and then we're just seeing a lot of what looks like to be generated by a Squarespace. And I didn't mention that before. So they do use Squarespace for their CMS as well as their e-commerce management. Squarespace is very limited as a CMS as well as an e-commerce platform. Definitely would recommend either using a WordPress with WooCommerce or a WordPress with Shopify, or even just Shopify in general. Would make it a lot easier for them, probably even selling their gear, as well as just a better SEO strategy. I think a WordPress for like all their content would be the best. Most of there's like category pages, which you can build out manually in Shopify as well as in WordPress and WooCommerce. You can do the same thing in Squarespace, but they're just not doing it right now. So we'll go ahead and just jump straight into the Ahrefs organic data. So it's just a rough export. All this information is public. I'm not sharing any private information. It's all publicly available. So we created a pivot on the organic keywords and just did a rough count of all the unique keywords by URL, summed up the total volume, and then looked at the average position. And we're filtering this pivot by less than 10. So look at the first page rankings for all these keywords. You'll see at the top page is a shop online. And if we go back to the Screaming Frog, we notice that shop online shows up a lot as like the main category page. So what we can do is we can grab this. So we're kind of curious, what are the keywords that are ranking this page for? So we can go ahead and drop it into this query to kind of pull out all the URLs for the specific page. And this is being filtered with less than 10, so first page again. So we're seeing a lot of good keywords that they're being sent to a very general page. So it'll help to spin out this page. And you'll see that if someone was to say they're searching for, let's look, Nashville sweatshirts. So if they're looking for Nashville sweatshirts, they come to this page and they're seeing sweatshirts just because the way they have it organized right now, which is pretty good. But if we'll go ahead and add a incognito, and they're supposed to be ranking, I think, 9 or 10 for this term. So yeah, okay, 8. So you'll see a bunch of just random e-commerce stores, print shops, basically, with just a Nashville appended to the URL. And then Project 615, their meta description is very vague. It's basically just being scraped by Google, and then their title is very vague as well. But it's because they're sending them to the shop online page. There's not a way they can control this because they're using the category, which is not indexable. So what they could do is create their own sweatshirts page, manually put in all the sweatshirt products into that page, add content at the top. You could even put it in. You could hide the content in an accordion basically. It could be like by default it could be hidden. They could expand it to kind of spit out maybe like 300 to 400 words of content around Nashville and sweatshirts. And that can just be added right below the navigation. And again, it can be an accordion, so they can just spit it out, but it's available in the raw HTML. So that's one benefit. You can also drop this same page and see what are like top priorities. It helps it up with the actual URL in. Just see like what are we sitting on like page 2 and page 3 for. So again, we can kind of see a lot of branded terms, like not necessarily branded, but the 615 is included, and then we'll see some additional terms. Then they can also build out some category pages around like baseball, some Batman theme. Just they could build out specific pages to kind of target these specific keyword categories and send them to a page that's specifically built for what they're trying to rank for, rather than just a very general shop online, which just spits out all of their products on one single page. So it's not a great user experience for the shopper. So creating these category pages to make it a more delightful experience when they're coming here looking for their Nashville sweatshirts or looking for a Nashville hat. They don't have to scroll to like mid-page. Just take them to the page, show them all the hats, and they can select from that page. So we can also look at some of their backlinks. So it's just a raw, we did a pivot on it, and we're kind of grouping it by the average domain rating of the backlinks and then the URL at Project 615, and then a count of all the backlinks. So what I like looking at, we can look at, so they have some little issues with appending random information beyond the shop online, so I'm not getting a complete count since these are acting like brand new URLs. We even looked at some of the pages, and this is the actual hyperlink, which is pretty interesting. So what we can do is we can go ahead, we'll just grab the top one, and then basically the same thing. We're just doing a query to kind of spit out these URLs. So you can kind of see that these are just some random aggregation websites. So not ideal for their customer, but a lot of music and radio websites are just doing basically a listicle, which is great. These are great ideas that Project 615 could pitch to iHeartRadio, to other Nashville music venues, as well as like radio stations. Just very heavily themed with the solar eclipse that happened, I guess, in 2017. Feels like it was this year. This is almost over a year ago. But these can be some stories or blog posts they can pitch to these venues and websites. And then on to their sitemap. So some benefits from this sitemap is just basically being automatically generated by Squarespace. So some improvements here would be breaking it into multiple sitemaps. So if they're using WordPress, it would actually generate, or like any kind of plugin with WordPress, like Yoast or SEO Press, it'll generate specific or separate sitemaps based on page. So you can have a pages sitemap, like your landing pages. You can have a post sitemap of all your blog posts. You can have a sitemap of your images, just to make it a little easier. And as you can see, this is a very long sitemap. So it takes a little bit of time for the bot to kind of crawl it. So you can just kind of chunk these out and make it a little easier for the bot to kind of scan through it and update it. And then the only other thing would be, it's more CRO, conversion rate optimization idea. So we're going to add incognito. We just have a pop-up. You'll see pop-up. Join or mailing list is pretty vague. So you can kind of get something a little more on brand to like what Project 615 is, mission driven. It could be a little more than just like your mailing list. Having like 10% off is a good incentive. But like join or mailing list is so vague. You see that way too often with brand new websites that just kind of throw up an email collection tool because that's what you're supposed to do. I think they can be a little more on brand with their main headline. But I definitely would keep the 10% off your first order or something like that to kind of get that incentive for actually entering your email. That's all we have for Project 615. Definitely stay tuned for future episodes.